That was weird and comical. But welcome back to the channel. And what I'm going to do today is talk about Frontier Airlines. Frontier Airlines is very synonymous. I don't know what I just said. Very controversial in a lot of ways. They do pride to be America's greatest airline, but a lot of people complain about Frontier Airlines, and that's a big problem, especially in the world of how many competing airlines there is nowadays. So, I flew on Frontier Airlines back in May of 2019. I actually have my trip pulled up on the website right now, looking over things, as I do travel a lot, and I do travel a lot of different airlines. So I try to compare them and I try to contrast them. And I started a blog about traveling, so I figured I need to start with one of my favorite trips of all time, actually. It was a really good trip. But anyway, Frontier prides herself on lower flight prices than a lot of other flight companies and organizations. So Frontier keeps their prices the lowest they possibly can, but imposes fees that are still usually together less than what you would pay on normal airlines. So when I booked my flight to Birmingham, this is Salt Lake City, Utah, all the way to Birmingham, Alabama. The flight is about 4 hours straight. And I had a connection on Frontier, like most people on the West Coast would, through Denver, which is Frontier's main hub on the West Coast. And my layover was extremely long, but I'll talk about that, and I'll say why that wasn't bad. So when I booked my flight, you go online, you book your flight at flyfrontier.com. You put in your arrival city and your departing city, and you look at the available flights that you have. Actually, I found this flight on Google Flights. I didn't even book it through Frontier. I booked it through Google Flights. And they were having a special where it was cheaper. So my flight tickets technically were only $39.07 for the one-way to Birmingham from Salt Lake City with a connection through Denver. That reminds me of a lot of European flight prices. If you pull up Google, look at Ryanair, look at some of those competitor cheap airlines, a lot like how Frontier and Spirit are, those prices compared to them. And that is incredible, especially for college students, especially for people on budgets. That's a great price. Where Frontier starts to get you is the fees. On my trip, I incurred of fees. These are just airplane fees. This is not including baggage. This is not including choosing a seat. The extra fees were $69.53. And we're talking about fees that just came from airport use to 9/11 post-tax to everything you can possibly imagine. And those fees they added up real quick. But that's how they save you a lot of money. They don't include it in the flight prices, so they are not charging you a fee twice like some airlines do. As for me, I picked my seat, and actually I was going back home. I was on a student exchange in Utah, so I was taking baggage back with me. I took 2 bags back with me. If you really think about it, 2 bag price is comparable to a lot of airlines. As for Delta with 2 bags is $70. Frontier with 2 bags was $83. Same dimension, same everything. And my bags were waiting for me at the airport. They got there in time. They were on time, which is great after the horror stories I hear about baggage and Frontier. And then I purchased a big front seat with extra room on my flight from Denver to Birmingham, and I paid $53 for that seat. And that may seem a little steep, but I slept good for 4 hours. It was a great idea, honestly, to do, and I don't regret it at all. On the way to Salt Lake City, it made me comfortable seeing that the plane was an ex-SkyWest plane, because that means that it was in a United and American Airlines flight, or even a Delta flight, and those are carriers that have a really good safety record. And Frontier actually has a really good safety record, and that's incredible, especially with how cheap they are. They don't cut costs on security, they don't cut costs on safety, and that's what's nice. They only cut costs on how much room you have in your seat, which is not that bad when they're still being safe and they're getting you cheaply to your destinations that you need to get to for leisure or for business. As I said, the flight over to Salt Lake City, the flight over to Denver, it was easy. The flight attendants really didn't seem like they cared. But it was also 5 in the morning, so I don't know how much I would have cared either. And the plane just kind of felt jumpy. Like, it made me feel better seeing that SkyWest logo, but the plane felt very jumpy, very turbulence induced, very like if you touched it, it would just move. And that was, it kind of jolted me, honestly. So we got safely over to Denver. We landed. Frontier having a hub there is amazing because you just land and you're in a great area. What was awkward is actually where I got out. This is where I went later for the Birmingham flight, and I never realized it until after. So I had a 7.5-hour layover in the Denver airport. You know, these layovers, you have a big layover because these flights were coming from specific locations. My plane was coming from Knoxville, Tennessee, and a later flight from Knoxville, Tennessee. I knew I had the 7-hour when I booked it, so that is not Frontier's fault. That, if anything, I didn't complain about it, but that's my fault for booking it. Like, it was a good time though. Denver airport's really nice. If you can ever connect through Denver, connect through Denver. I should have went to the city, but I chose not to. But yeah, the seats were okay. I mean, the tray tables, nothing to write home about. And that's just how it is. The flight back home to Birmingham was actually amazing. It was an amazing flight. That big seat was incredible. We tried to have a discussion in the front, but we were all, literally the people that were sitting on the front rows were all dead tired. So we just honestly fell asleep. And I actually got to Birmingham about 45 minutes ahead of my scheduled time. Grabbed my bags, was out. Frontier was very good with that. After the experience, I did contact Frontier about the little bit of juriness on the first flight, and a little bit of it just didn't feel like the flight attendants cared. And they did send me a $25 voucher, which I let expire, and that was my fault, because I'm actually going back out for the student exchange in Salt Lake City, so that kind of sucks. But yeah, Frontier is a really good sense of value. It's a really good airline. I think they're going to continue to grow, honestly, and I will take another flight with them. One, because I want all the animal badges, and two, because they put out a pretty good economical price and service, and it's nice. But yeah, that's it today. I do have a blog, travelwithkor.blogspot.com. We also have a Twitter at travelwithkor. And an Instagram, travelingwithkor at instagram.com. Please follow those and help us grow. And we're about to start a series actually on Delta Airlines. And I live in the South, so our main hub is Delta in Atlanta. So be there for that. Come join us and see how that goes. All right. Have a great night, everybody. Appreciate it. Thank you.